that Vancouver stuff, man, that's crazy. That was, like you say,
Coming to a
that
head,
was
it really is.
That was not a good look on anybody. I mean, you can say all the things you want to say, but man, we're halfway through the season. Last year, they were a game away from round 3.
Yeah, and I still think this can be a good team, but they've got to address this issue. Like, they spent most of the season without Demko, most of the season without Hronek, who is crucial because he's next to Quinn Hughes, who's their most important player by a mile. And I do like a lot of the support pieces they have. Like, I think Jake DeBrusk's been a nice add. Garland's a really good player. Like, they just need to solve this issue. And the Dallas thing is really intriguing to me. Like, good God, would JT Miller look good next to Jamie Benn?
How do you
Nightmare
do that
fuel for
Vancouver?
opponents. Well, you get a first and you go turn into something else. How could they get rid of Bo Horvat?
Because you might have to go up against them. Bo Horvat's out east. That's part of the reason.
Okay, but I mean, they got to get out of the division before they worry about anyone in the Central. You got the Oilers and you got Vegas. Who can you add to win a series against those two? They almost beat Oilers without Demko last year. They didn't have Besser for Game 7. I'm not throwing the towel in on their year, but this issue has to get resolved immediately.
Yeah, it's not a tinker. That's
a big move.
You know, you can make that move, and on paper it could look good. It still has to work on the ice.
At least address that room issue, right?
And you know what? My guess would be, and Retro, you like you say with clicks, if JT Miller is the problem, and my guess is he's part of it, but not maybe the root of it.
Yeah.
You can get him out of there. You've not cured the cancer. You've not gone in and still problems in there.
Well, concern. I don't give a shit if the Canucks make the playoffs or not. But if you're trying to fix it, that Rutherford's best move might be I'm going to stick handle for next year. It's all fine and good, and I don't disagree with you, Ryan. You get in the playoffs, and they're good.
It's just the owner. I think it's tactically a strong move.
I know.
I just think the owner.
But that's what I'm saying. Tactically, good word.
Yeah,
I think that would be the smartest move because you start fresh next year.
Demko's
we're on the same page, and we can go do our team building and all this bullshit and start fresh. And the players they can move would bring in some real assets.
It should, and that's what I was going to say. If you make a JT Miller trade and it doesn't work out that great, and then Besser's out, and if Demko continues to have ishes,
Demko's the biggest thing too.
What are you looking at next year? Okay, we got Pettersson and we got Hughes. But where are we at?
You've got a good team. Pettersson and Hughes, Hronek. I mean, do we think Demko's going to be brutal?
I don't think Demko's the issues with Demko is you had a weird one-off injury that cost him almost a year. It's not that you don't think he's going to make saves. Now he does get back and then hurts his back. So you're okay. Is this going to be a thing where Demko's always hurt? Because it wasn't really a thing until it was a thing. I'm not worried about Demko not being a good goalie. I think he's an elite goalie. I think he's on that American team if he's actually playing. It's just that he hasn't played in a year.
Yeah, I would have just concerns that how many games can we count on?
Yeah,
but again, you go back to, and I don't. If you're not going into the playoffs and you're not having to ride him, and you're not trying right now, they need Demko and they need him to play every game because they got to get in such a shitty spot.
Yeah,
I wonder. It was interesting the point you made there, Rhett, that for guys like Adam Foote and Rick Tocchet to see this go down in their room. They must be furious.
And the city,
but how much? But I wonder. There's got to be some of their influence that's part of it.
Sedins weren't stirring the drink.
But they were on teams that were tight. Like those Kessler, like they had back-to-back President's trophies. They go all the way to the Cup final. They had those battles in Chicago. Like I think that whole organization is rattled that this hasn't been diffused because there's so many guys that were great teammates that are there. They have a large organization of former players.
Sure.
I don't. Anyway. Doesn't matter. I'm just curious why you throw their names into the hat. What do you got?
I just think they got big influence with the owner. That's why.
I just feel like Tocchet and Foote, they're in the locker room every day. Like they're part of the team, and
they've seen this unfold. Yeah. They've had front row seats too.
Yeah,
and there's could have telegraphed it coming or something, and to try and avoid it, which almost makes you wonder if
it's clearly beyond repair.
Yeah,
it's beyond repair, Dean, or it would have been fixed.
It'll be interesting in 10 years when somebody gets loaded up and lets loose on what really played out.
And maybe it's just like, look, I always wonder what the hell happened to JT Miller in Tampa. They move some significant assets to get him out of New York. He comes in, he plays on the top line with Stamkos and Kucherov, looks great for like a couple months. And next thing you know, JT Miller's a fourth liner. And the next offseason, he's moved for a first round pick to Vancouver. Like, Tampa never sells talent. Tampa has to be forced into stuff when their cap runs out. Like, what the hell happened there? And so, okay, he's an abrasive personality. I think you've got two very, very different individuals. I don't think they can find a restaurant to agree on. I think their politics are different. They're from different parts of the world, big time. I think their lives away from the rink are entirely different. And they're supposed to be together in a leadership group, but it's oil and water. And it doesn't mean that we're going to hear one story, well, this guy did this. It's just these cats are so different, and they don't really like each or respect each other, it feels like.
Wow. But what allows you to have that in your room? Like, if that's not a unique situation, what you're saying, different upbringings, different places. This happens all the time in sports and in hockey and locker rooms. The only difference is they're allowing personal bullshit to influence over team stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
both these guys,
and again, I said it to Dregs, all us old bastards, all the games change, kids are different. I think they are, and it is what it is, but none of them have ever been told that the team doesn't matter. And these two, if they're that far apart, are treating it as if I don't give a shit about the team.
It's interesting you talk about the Tampa thing. I mean, it seems like Miller's a guy, he runs in the red, right? Like, he's intense.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Kucherov isn't that guy. He doesn't seem to be that guy. And if that ain't working, you're siding with Kucherov and maybe Stamkos. Okay, you're out. But now Miller's the guy almost in Vancouver. It's not a second or third piece down the line like you maybe would have been in Tampa.
But the public perception and the media perception isn't always bang on as what's going on in those rooms on whether or not he should be the effing guy.
Yeah.
It's all fine and good that he goes out and has a great playoff run last year. The fans love him. Yep, because he plays hard. He might be an idiot. Do you know him? You ever talk to him?
Oh, yeah. No.
Right? Like, he could be a complete jackass.
Dregs brought up Winnipeg and didn't want to make that connection.
But it was
But there's potential there for a comparable, because you had a coach that left and said, I can't, right? Would it be crazy to talk and be like, I can't fix this. If the GM can't fix it, I can't fix it. And Blake Wheeler may be a great guy, and maybe he's intense, and maybe Scheifele's intense. But the team's been pretty good since Wheeler left town.
They were a disaster, and then you had made the Dubois trade, and Wheeler got out of there. They bought him out, and all of a sudden they were. It looked like a team again, not a group of individuals. Like, that's why I still think Vancouver could be gnarly, because all the pieces that they with a third string goalie and without their second best sniper, they almost beat the Oilers.
The nice part about it, Ryan, is that you probably bang on. But you can find out. Make a frickin' move.
You have to do it now.
Make a move. Because one way or the other, something's got to change. And if you make a move and a team doesn't respond, then you can make more moves. But if you wait right till the deadline, think I'm going to make one move and we're going to fix it all, you might be screwed.
I like the point that Dregs made, where it's like, maybe they've got this deal for Miller done. They're just trying to take these picks and go get a piece they can add to this group. And that's hard, because I don't know who's really said I'm a seller at this point. There's a lot of teams in the East that think they're going to get that last wild card. The Flames aren't selling. Like, I think you'll have more clarity on who's selling in a month, because, it's just, there'll be 10 less games for teams to say, shit, we can still get in.
It's just too bad it's happening for Vancouver.
Yeah, it's a shame. Such a great fan base.
Disheartening.
Rational people.
It brings the whole West Coast down.
Yeah. They got all that dope out there.
Yeah.
Now that because you think about it now, right? There were those Vancouver fans that no doubt came out of the woodwork in spring.
Mm-hmm.
Awfully quiet. Not hearing as much of them.
There's the social media is loud, and it's like that JT Miller lack of a back check on the second or third goal against LA last night. Like, that's been posted a million spots. They love it.
I mean,
it's sour.
I mean, what you stop giving a shit? Your give a shit meter goes off. Trade this guy now. Get this guy out of town.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.